Up on Mountain News this morning, a Kentucky nonprofit receives a national honor for its efforts in helping victims of domestic abuse. And one Kentucky community hosts an event to support wounded veterans here in the Commonwealth.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Chas Gayhart. It is 6 o'clock, almost 6:01 on Monday, October 4th. Let's go over and check in with Brendan. And I know it's a dreary day, but the cooler temperatures are so nice.
Listen, you didn't know what day it was earlier.
I know.
And now you don't know what time it is, so it's okay. It's all right.
I'm just confused this morning.
Here, Chas. Here, I'll give you a little bit of coffee this morning. That might help you out. No, it's definitely a Monday, that's for sure. And you're right, we are dealing with a little bit of a mess this morning. It's been kind of raining off and on throughout the overnight hours. But for the most part this morning, we're starting to dry out just a little bit, for now at least. Let's take a look at the last few hours on the satellite and radar. And you still see a few specks of green, maybe some sprinkles coming down in some areas this morning up on top of Buffalo Mountain, though. No major issues as we head into the morning hours here on this Monday. Temperature 64 Hazard, Prestonsburg, Pikeville, Logan, popular number there. 64 also in Irvin, Moorhead, and Jacksboro. That's our warm end. Actually 65 in London and Monticello is our warm end now. 61 in Wise, our cool end there. So a lot of cooler temperatures across the region today, but close to average this afternoon. 75 the forecast high, 73 the average high for this time of the year, and 87 the record, but we're back out of 2019, finally back into 2018. Also a warm October that year as well. Chas?
Thanks, Brandon. Well, friends of two Frankfurt fire victims are sharing an outpouring of love for the pair on social media. Zeph Russian and Kiana Miller Walker died Thursday after their apartment caught fire. They were 21 and 20 years old. The coroner pronounced Russian dead on the scene. Miller Walker was taken to the hospital where she later died. Friends of the pair said they'll never forget them.
You need to tell everyone you love them, because you never know when the last time you could see or even talk to them is.
Even those that haven't had a close relationship with either of them have been greatly impacted by them.
Right now, officials are still trying to figure out what caused the fire. The ATF says there are no signs of anything criminal. A fatal crash killed two people Friday night in Wayne County along State Route of 152 South. As Marley Pincock reports, the crash hit a little too close to home for some in the area.
Flashing lights and sirens blaring through Wayne County Friday night along State Route 152 South near Fort Gay Road.
Just sad.
Mark Manyard, who has a family-owned auto shop along this stretch, says he got a call from his parents regarding a serious crash across from the shop.
So I got here as soon as I could, and I didn't recognize either vehicle, and I was hoping that I didn't know either one of them.
However, as he approached the scene, it ended up hitting close to home.
I knew the one individual. I went from kindergarten and I graduated with him, lived a mile up the road, knew him all my life. And then the other individual, I've known all of his life and know his family as well, and just very unfortunate.
Wayne County deputies say two cars were involved in the crash, killing both drivers. Anthony France, who is 30 and from Wayne, and 49-year-old Larry Thompson from Genoa.
It was difficult, seeing two members of the community that I knew well, and I couldn't help them. I couldn't do anything.
Feeling helpless watching the incident unfold.
Just imagining what their families are going through, it's just tough, and hopefully they can find some relief somehow.
Cherishing the memories of two well-loved community members who will be kept near and dear to heart.
That was Marley Pincock reporting. There were no other passengers in either of the cars at the time of the crash. We're still waiting to hear from deputies on the cause of the crash. And a semi-crash in Rowan County shut down I-64 for hours Sunday. The fire department tells us it happened just before 5 a.m. in the westbound lanes. As you can see, the semi flipped over on its side. Thankfully, the driver was not hurt. No other vehicles were involved. The road shut down for about 6 hours. Middlesboro police are searching for a Jeep that was stolen off the lot. They say they were called to Ellis Auto Sales around 11:20 Saturday morning. It is a 1988 brown two-wheel drive Jeep Sahara with chipped paint near the driver's side hood. Anyone with information is asked to call the Middlesboro Police Department. The incident remains under investigation. A Central Kentucky nonprofit received a national honor. Greenhouse 17 was awarded with the Purple Ribbon Award for Program of the Year. The organization helps survivors of domestic abuse through housing, legal advocacy, and other services. Executive Director Darlene Thomas says it's not about the awards, it's about celebrating the courage of survivors and the care employees provide.
For survivors to move from crisis to self-sufficiency, it takes an entire community.
Along with the award, Greenhouse 17 received a $10,000 grant from Teresa's Fund to help the nonprofit cover the needs of the people it helps. On Saturday, one Central Kentucky community hosted an event to support wounded veterans here in the Commonwealth and to remember heroes who lost their lives in Somalia nearly 3 decades ago. 19 heroes were lost during the Mogadishu Mile in 1993. Trampus Miller and retired First Sergeant Greg Baker are reunited in a military fashion to head through an obstacle course at Queens Lake Farm in Georgetown, remembering those heroes and raising money for wounded veterans.
Keep them alive the best way we can, and this is one way that we can help do that.
Miller and Baker also honored their late friend and medic William McMillan at the event. People from across the country made their way to Mount Sterling Sunday. They set up booths with resources as part of an annual recovery rally. And after a year and a half of the pandemic, these services are needed now, maybe more than ever before. Grayson Passmore shows us how one couple made it their mission to help those in recovery.
We had both just gotten clean, and part of being in recovery is giving back to that next person.
Which is exactly what husband and wife Tony and Tabitha Barrett decided to do in 2019.
Honestly, God put it on our heart to do something, and in the middle of the night I started a Facebook page, and I was just hoping to get a little bit of attention and that there is help out there, and it just kind of snowballed.
From the Recovery Montgomery County Facebook page to their annual recovery rally to their very own office space in downtown Mount Sterling.
We can give them treatment immediately. We always joke we're the Domino's Pizza of treatment. We can get you in bed in 30 minutes or less. You better have your bags packed and ready to go if you come see us.
Help for anyone who needs and wants it, because as Barrett says, addiction does not stop at the county line, and neither does recovery.
We also help people do resumes for jobs, do the job application, food stamps, medical, peer support specialists on site, so anything that they really need.
Barrett says during the pandemic, we've seen addiction and overdose rates climbing, but not slowing down yet, meaning their help is needed now more than ever.
It's not just an addict problem. It's not just a recovery problem. This is a community problem. This is a state problem. And if we don't come together as a community and reduce the stigma and have people reaching out, then we're not going to be able to change things. Because see, we cannot incarcerate our way out of this problem.
Made clear by the dozens of booths full of resources to help do just that.
That was Grayson Passmore reporting. The Barrett's Recovery Montgomery County office is open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. You can reach out for help by calling the number on your screen, 859-520-80923. The Alinity Club in Lexington first opened in 1986. It helps people working through addiction recovery. Now, after 3 decades, the space dedicated to helping others needs a renovation. Grace Feinerman shows us how the community is coming together to make the project a reality.
This place probably saved my life. My wife has told me that they either were going to get into a 12-step program or she was going to be walking.
Jim Blackerby, now sober for over 3 decades, credits this safe harbor for people suffering from addiction.
Alcohol addiction, drug addiction, gambling addiction, sex addiction, whatever the problem may be.
The club holds about 30 meetings weekly and 50,000 visitors annually. But after over 30 years in operation, it needed a renovation. something Blackerby helped organize.
Took out some walls over here. It was sort of divided into 2 rooms.
That's where Wells & Wells Construction Business Development Manager David Leone comes in. For Leone, a member of a 12-step program at the club, this project's personal.
I got excited because it felt like a way that God could use my skill set to give back to a community that's given so much to me.
Leone didn't step up alone. Blackerby explains the community of Lexington banded together, donating time or writing a check. 36 celebrities and local politicians are taking part in a Golf Classic fundraiser later this month.
Truly it humbled me. It's touched my heart that there's so many people and so many corporations and companies in Lexington that want to better the community.
To Blackerby, the new space is about helping others to live another way.
The community has answered a prayer that's well needed.
In Lexington, Grace Feinerman, WKYT.
6:11 on this Monday morning. We are continuing to track just a little bit of rain through the overnight hours and into the early morning, but for the most part, we have started to dry out, at least from the moisture falling from the sky. The fog is still pretty thick and dense out there in some areas. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s this morning, 65 there, Jackson, London, and Monticello, the warm spots, and of course 61 in Wise, one of our cooler spots. Heading toward the mid 70s today, scattered chances for off and on rain, off and on throughout the day. And we could see a few peaks of sunshine. It's not going to be an all-day washout by any means, but I do believe we'll see more rain and more clouds than sunshine. Kind of a soggy mess the next couple of days, especially as we head deeper into the weekend. But this weekend, though, I think we trend drier. We'll have to wait and see how that low moves. It's an upper-level disturbance low traveling along with that cold front. And once that gets out of here, the sky is the limit, literally. We could see some of that sunshine return. Chas?
Thanks, Brandon. And thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. When we come back, a healthcare giant experiments with a vaccine that could keep both the young and old from getting sick.